Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Call of Duty Ghost, a first-person military shooter from Infinity Ward. With me today is just Synyster Dreamer. How are you doing?
Doing well.
All right, so this will be the last review with just two of the three of us on. Once the PS3 comes out, we'll all have opinions on that.
PS4.
Or PS4. Thank you. Sorry. We'll all have opinions on.
You're stumbling over your words today.
Yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long
Call of
day.
Duty Ghost.
Ghost. Anyway, he'll be back for the PlayStation 4 reviews and all the ones that are coming out for the rest of the year. But anyway, let's get back to Call of Duty Ghost. So, since this is Call of Duty, a very big franchise, I like going over kind of their history with the franchise. Personally, the only Call of Duty I've ever really even liked to some extent was Modern Warfare 2. I thought that was a really fun game. I liked the multiplayer, and I thought everything in it was really, really well done. The later you get, some of them, I do enjoy Call of Duty every now and then. But like, if you watched our last review of Black Ops 2, I felt that was an expansion pack, and that's kind of how most Call of Duties have felt. But at least with Black Ops 2, that's the most expansion pack I felt.
But with on the case of Black Ops, that wasn't actual Call of Duty because there's two franchises to that. There's Call of Duty Activision Infinity Ward, and then there's Call of Duty Activision Triarch, whatever. So it's like you can't compare the two because they're two different side ops.
True,
so
but I would even
you
say
got the Modern Warfare for Infinity Ward, which you can all line up with this, and then there's Triarch that's over on the left, who's like, "Hey, we want to make a Call of Duty game."
Yeah, but I would even say Modern Warfare 3 wasn't quite as good as 2. But anyway, that's me. Synyster.
I've played pretty much every single Call of Duty game since they came out with the World War II games. So far, the Modern Warfare series I've liked in general just because of the storyline, but 2, I agree with the opinion that it's more well-rounded and everything worked real well. It didn't just feel like, oh, it's just another attachment to it.
Alright, so let's get into the story of Call of Duty. So, the game's premise is you play as, I believe, I forget his name, but it's some guy. Logan? There we go.
Yeah, you play the brother of two kids, Logan. You play as Logan, then you have your brother Hess. Right. It's also a kind of a futuristic theory option of what would happen if stuff got cut off from the Middle East.
Right, and basically it starts off with some people from a group called the Federation, which is basically South America countries have all banded together to form a superpower. And they take over a satellite that's a weapon and basically bombard the U.S. with a thing called Odin. This pretty much leaves the United States in a very bad place, and the Federation is, trying to take over. So you're kind of the resistance against that. On the whole, the story was alright. I felt that the payoff never really came. Like, I was interested. I kept waiting for something to happen, but I never got to that point. But on the whole, it was an interesting kind of take on things. Also, the fact that South American countries can somehow become the most powerful thing ever is interesting.
Well, because if going through the story without trying to spoil too much, the fact that the Middle East falls and lose all superpower construction over there, and America's basically left on their own. South America unifies under one person and blah blah blah, and goes, "Hey,
let's take over the world.
Let's take over America because the fact that they're weak." Yeah. Which bringing it up with my wife, we were talking about this. I was like, that was the most stupid idea that they could have done. Was like bombard the major cities, then America's weak. It's like, you realize our military forces are never near major cities.
Yeah, so like I said, it was an interesting premise.
But yeah, on a whole, the storyline, I actually enjoyed it. There were some moments where it's like okay, what's gonna happen next, and it doesn't come. But all in all, I still enjoyed it. The fact that it's like, other than the fact that it's like, okay, here it is, kind of a what if scenario.
Yeah, like I said, out of the Call of Duty games, this has probably one of the better storylines. I'm just going to throw that out there. Because I did enjoy this one a little bit more than past ones.
Yeah.
which is a good thing because now we're going to go into gameplay and multiplayer. Now, for those of you who've played Call of Duty, it's pretty much exactly the same, except there's a dog in the campaign.
Dogs.
Yeah, which the dog did actually add a little bit more, but not enough to change it. So, you know, it's a lot. It's Twitch gameplay, very, you know, cover, fast gameplay. You know, if you pretty much see somebody first, you pretty much get the kills unless you're bad. And, you know, it's, once again, with Call of Duty, I've heard, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it or change it. And to be fair, it's true. I mean, it does work very well for what Call of Duty is. I mean, you can hate on it all you want for it being basically the same game over and over and over, but the gameplay mechanics work, so I can't really criticize it on a whole, other than I wish they would try something new with the gameplay a little bit more than they do.
Yeah, because the whole don't break what's not broken and stuff. It's just like, okay, you got to take some bit of a risk, or else it's just going to get boring and it's just going to become one of those, hey, it's another shooter game, kind of like Battlefield. I'm sorry to say, but it's just like multiplayer game, trying to go for storyline. Okay, that's a bit of a risk. Call of Duty's just been, okay, here's a story, here's multiplayer, here's something new that comes with the game. That's a risk.
Yeah, so at least for me, I wish they would experiment a little bit more, because otherwise it's once again like Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3 and most of the other ones after I played Modern Warfare 2 feel more like expansion packs. This one, however, has a little bit more redeeming qualities than some of the new other ones.
Yeah.
That make it not quite that.
Yeah.
So let's go into multiplayer. So multiplayer is pretty much the same. Once again, not a whole lot of changes. Your typical team deathmatch, you know, objective-based ones, you know, all that's still there. They're fun. I'm terrible at it. In the video you're probably watching, it looks like I'm doing well. That was my first game. It's really that I'm just getting lucky. I'm really terrible about these games.
Yeah, it's just multiplayer. The most that's changed is there's a new little bit of a UI setup.
Yeah.
There's My Squad, which you can now, you know, make basically squad clans, set up that your gun setups are based off of what character outlook you select, and then you make your loadout from there, which then you can do all the different things, and instead of earning points to buy unlock stuff with, you know, when you upgrade your level through EXP, you get a new weapon. You buy the parts you want through squad points, and it's interesting, but boil it down, it's still go in, choose what kind of game type you want, what loadout, and there you go.
Alright, and I'm just throwing this out there because I'm getting tired of this system, but I really dislike, and I hate this with Battlefield too, so I'm not just picking on Call of Duty, I pick on any game that does this. I hate XP to open up the better guns, because it edges out, like, the more time you put into these, obviously the better equipment you get, and that, like, someone who, like me, who's, you know, maybe I get in really late, I'm at a very big disadvantage because, you know, I'm at the starting loadout, and I have a little bit more of an uphill battle. I wish like I said, this is going to Killzone Shadowfall a bit, but I like what they kind of did with that in Mercenary, where I have everything open, and all the unlocks are more cosmetic, and maybe unlocking, like, attachments to those guns, so I can, you know, customize the gun, like how that gun works a little more, instead of just like, here's, you know, semi-burst, but I don't want a semi-burst, I want a full auto. We have to wait a little bit to unlock the full auto.
Yeah, but whereas Battlefield has been always EXP, this time around they did, yeah, it's EXP, but you gain squad points, which then you can buy whatever weapon you want, because depending on how many squad points you get, depends on where you want to go. It's not how Modern Warfare was, okay, you leveled up, here's the selection of guns that you get for this rank, and this one. Right. This time they've kind of changed it up a little, but it's still the same EXP grind to try to get a weapon or whatever.
Right, which I said it's a little better, but I still dislike it. That's just a personal opinion. The new mode in this, though, is Extinction Mode, which is kind of like zombies, but not zombies.
It's aliens.
Yeah, it's aliens. It's still a 4-player co-op where you fight aliens.
And honestly, it's kind of this is dating me, going back to Counter-Strike 1.0 and gun games, where you start off with a pistol and you go from there.
Yeah. I actually like Extinction better than zombies. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
I very much enjoy Extinction more.
I like the concept of it, where it's okay. You're going in and you're placing this drill and you're defending this point, and you start off with, okay, you're got a pistol, and then you got these starting loadouts. Once you rank up, you can spend points on whatever has been unlocked, and the further you rank up, the more stuff unlocks, and by the end, you can have up to 4 different people playing 4 different styles, which I've gotten to tank, and that's beast.
Yeah. So, I think that's it. Anything else you want to talk about? Or you have comments on?
Not really. Pretty much the game in a whole is not bad. It's not like Black Ops, and I wanted to shoot myself. Oh, and personally, on a personal note, I like this game because of the fact that cursing was very, very mild. My wife would sit here and be like, have they cussed yet? Once or twice? Not like Black Ops where it was like every other 4th word it was a drop.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's get into our rating. So here at Rule of 3, we do not do a point-based system because I just don't like dealing with that. Instead, we use a buy rent pass system. A buy means we think if the game is worth the full price that the publisher wants. It's just that much fun, has that much stuff in it to do that, you know, they deserve that money. Rent is a twofold option. It's, you know, the game was okay. It was fun. We enjoyed it. Maybe not worth that $60 or whatever they wanted at release. Maybe wait for it to go down in price, buy a used copy, or rent it. But one of those options is probably the best way to go with a game that gets that rating. And a pass means that you should not even bother with it. Just
give it to the dog.
Give it to the dog, yeah. Go play. Use the disc as a frisbee. That's all it's good for. Synyster, you go first.
I give the game a buy. One being a shooter kind of guy, I actually enjoyed this one more than most of the other Battlefield or Call of Duty style games, especially over Black Ops. I enjoyed it. The storyline was enough that it kept me going back to play. It was a little short, but overall it wasn't bad, and multiplayer is still fun.
I give the game a rent. If you're a Call of Duty fan, I mean, obviously, you know, I would say buy it. But on a personal level, and my opinion is, you know, once again, it's the same game roughly with a different skin still. It's not. It's a little bit more of an expansion pack plus some stuff. So, I mean, I definitely liked it over Black Ops 2, and I would recommend this one over it. But it's still, I don't know. I still feel like Modern Warfare 2 is the one that, you know, they haven't surpassed it. And everything is just kind of a rip off it, and they haven't really done anything new. So, I mean, yes, I'm comparing 2 games that are widely apart, but I still would. I mean, personally, I'd stay just rent for this one on my level. So there you have it, a buy and a rent. That's it for this week. Next week, I believe, is nothing because I'm prepping all the PlayStation 4 reviews that we're going to be doing. There might be a filler one in there somewhere if I can find something to review or post anything video-wise.
If I can get my hands on Enemies Within, I might do that.
There you go. If something comes in, we'll review it. But as of right now, we're kind of in that prep stage for next gen.
Next gen systems.
Yeah. And just as a reminder, we are focusing on PS4. I don't mention Xbox One because we're not going to be able to do the day one stuff because we couldn't afford both of them. We had to choose one, and we went to PS4 for a couple of reasons.
Yeah. Even a former Xbox person here, I'm weary of that system.
Sell me without the Kinect. Honestly, I probably would have bought it day one and knock off $100.
Oh, that and also the fact that I want to see how far into the year they go turn back on their word and turn on everything they said. Oh, we're not going to turn on.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't want to talk about Xbox One because I think it'll be, like I said, I think in the long run it'll be a great system. I plan on getting one. I think everybody here will eventually get one. At some point. Just depends on how far down the road. But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. And always remember to trust in the rule of 3.